Peace, family, peace, peace, peace. I hope you guys are having such a glorious night, day, wherever you are. If not, do understand and get your day, your life is going to get better once your perception gets better. So I had just got finished meditating, which was very well needed. I always say go within. Go within. You seeking answers, you have to be willing to go within. You have to be willing to sit in silence. Okay. Everything that you ever need to know, all the answers are within. And what I mean by that is you can't receive the information that you're seeking if you are constantly busy. You have to give yourself some time to relax, some time to just be still in order for you to receive the information that God, source, whatever you want to call it, universe, have for you. And I remember when I first started meditating, I remember, meditation came up a few times in my life. Well, whereas though people would recommend it to me. And I was so foreign to it. I didn't know what meditation was. I didn't know, if I was doing it right. But it's so funny how if you are eager for change and if you want change like yesterday, you are going to do things that you never thought you would do. You are going to do things where as though you just gonna do it because you like, well, this is my only option, right? And I tell you guys, 2018, I heard somebody, it was rapper B.O.B. who said, meditate, meditate. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with that. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. In fact, I trusted the process so much that days, months, probably a year went past. And when I first started meditating, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm doing it right. And I think that's why a lot of people, they be discouraged when they start meditating because a part of them, they feel like they don't know if they doing it right. And so they just give up. There's no right or wrong way to meditation. Let me say it again. It's the practice in itself that is really doing it. And what I mean by really doing it is the practice within itself that you are trusting the process. There's no right or wrong way. So when you sitting still, and it's so funny because I don't know, like for me, I definitely have to meditate. And when I heard that all the answers within you, I was like, oh my goodness, you mean to tell me I ain't got to go outside? You mean to tell me I don't have to, because I would call my mama up and I used to feel like I couldn't make decisions on my own. Yes. Big age, I used to feel like, oh, I couldn't make decisions on my own. And it wasn't until I started meditating that I was able to go with that. And I think the reason why, well, I know the reason why that I felt like I couldn't make decisions on my own because I didn't want people to judge me, right? So I'm calling my mama, I'm calling probably my sister, and I'm, telling them what was going on in my life or, asking them for advice. But I really was doing it because I wanted them to be on my side. I was doing it because I didn't trust myself. I was doing it because I needed reassurance, okay? And so getting into meditation and this video, the title is You Have Power, Now Use It. Now this comes in yesterday, and this is where the download came from, me meditating on the title, yesterday I was in I was pretty much all over. Like I was like in probably like 4 different cities yesterday. And I had took the train. So a few days ago, Friday, I had took the train, and when you put big bills like in the machine for you to take the train they give you these coins, right? It's like these are dollar pieces, okay, right? So as I took the train. Now I always carry a book. I tell you guys this all the time. Like if you take in public transportation and maybe you're a person where as though your mind just be wandering, your mind be ruminating and you like your thoughts be all over the place. One, I'm gonna say welcome there, okay. But two, one of the things that you can do is have a book with you. I stay reading. I always have me a book with me. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If you see me, chances are I have a book with me because I know that if your mind, you got to understand about the mind. What you don't use, you lose. Okay, and so I'm always looking to educate myself. I'm always looking to become a better version of me, right? And so I'm on a train yesterday, and I didn't have anywhere to put these coins at, right? These dollar pieces, and I had a book. I had these coins, and what else I had? Oh, and my phone. And so I gets to the Penn Station, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to put these coins somewhere, right? So I put them, I don't know, to me, I was like, just put them in your bra, right? So I put them in my bra. The coins, they start falling, right? One coin went to my doggone drawers, my panties. Okay, so I was like, "Oh my goodness, what the heck I'm gonna do?" Right? Because I'm like, I gotta catch the train back, right? And I had my card. Now it's so funny how things work. I had my card, virtue, like not the physical card. And worst come to worst, I just used the card. But I wanted to use these coins to get rid of, So I'm going to Dollar Tree in this city that's probably like 30 minutes away from me, right? And as I'm walking, the coins they just start falling. Like in my drawer, like I put it in my bra, it start falling. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So one coin is in my drawers, right? The other coin is in my bra, and as after I did it, I said, oh my goodness. Now how am I going to get the coins out? Because I didn't want people to, the thought did come to me like people gonna see that you all in your bra, you all in your bra and stuff like that, whatever. So I went into Dollar Tree, and as I went into Dollar Tree to make a purchase, everything, was good. After that, I had went to the Chinese restaurant to get some chicken wings. Chicken wings. I went in the Chinese restaurant to get some chicken wings. As I'm in the Chinese restaurant, the app to where my debit card is, for some reason, well, I guess it came up because I was using a virtue card, right? I'm using a virtue card. And for some reason or another, I had hit it where is though, like to do a replacement of the virtue card. So what they did was they canceled the virtue card that I had, and they had like another virtue card that I had to set up, on my phone with Google, and everything like that, Google Wallet and stuff like that, so I could make purchases because I didn't have my physical card yesterday. So after that, I ain't think nothing of it. I goes into Dunkin' Donuts. If you have not tried the refreshers from Dunkin' Donuts, oh my goodness, they so good. It is oh gosh, it's the dragon fruit and strawberry refresher. And they ask you, do you want lemonade or do you want green tea? I always get lemonade. It tastes so good. it's kind of just really sweet. So you may tell them, if they could hold all the sugar or whatever it is. I think it's just like syrup that they pour in here. In Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm making a purchase for the drink. My card declined. I'm like, what the heck, right? And I'm like, I know this a lot. So I did the transaction again. The card declined again. So I'm like, what the heck is going on with this? Right? And so the cat and shout out to the cashier, right? She was like really amazing. She was like, maybe your card is locked. The card wasn't locked, it was unlocked. So the garbage, it has to go out. So the card was unlocked, right? And so she's like see if it's like see if it's locked. So I'm like, it's not locked, it's unlocked. So I try it again, right? And I'm using my phone, right? The virtual card. It declines again. So I'm like, what in the world? So what wound up happening was I told her, I was like, you can just take the next person because I got to figure out like what's going on with my card. Because now I'm thinking, I'm like about the train, right? Because if my card is doing this, remember these coins, these dollar pieces, they done fell in my drawers. They done fell. One fell on a bus, and I was like, I don't pick up change. I was like, I don't pick up change. I was like, that coin just gonna stay there. Well, not thinking it was actually the dollar piece. Whatever, right? So I just left it on the bus. I'm in Dunkin' Donuts. The car did it again. So I goes back to the register. Now I'm like, you know what? It's all figured out. I got it worked out. Whatever. I goes to the register and I'm paying, right? Like I'm using my phone again. It declined again. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is going on with this, right? So the cashier, she was like, just take it. And I was like, what? She was like, just take it. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, just go ahead, take it. And I was like, oh, thank you. So I get outside, and as I'm walking outside, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this card. So I get into Burlington, right? Burlington Factory, Coat Factory. I always say Burlington Coat Factory. I get in there and I'm like, I'm gonna get some soap because I know they sell soap. I know you guys asked me like where I get my African black soap from. Is two places mainly. I would get it from Amazon sometimes, but mainly I get it from Burlington or I get it from the African shops. And I like getting it from the African shops because you get so much a large quality for very inexpensive. So so I'm in Burlington. I'm like, let me get some soap. So I'm in here. I pick up like I think three packs of Dove, whatever. And I'm online and I'm just like a part of me like, all right, it's gonna work. Because I had contacted the bank and they was basically saying because the card was locked, that's why the transactions wasn't going through. And I'm like, that's not true because the card was unlocked. So now I'm second guessing my darn self. Like, well, was the card locked? But I know the card wasn't locked because I actually seen the card not being locked. I'm in Burlington. I'm paying for the stuff. As I'm paying for the stuff, the card declined. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. Are you serious? Right? So I tried it again. The card declined again. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I get off the line. Now I go to the Dollar Trees, right? Because I'm doing the videos and stuff like that. I go to the Dollar Trees. And as I go to the Dollar Trees, now is I need to go, I'm coming back home, right? As I'm coming back home, I'm like, I gotta pay for the train. And like all these ideas start coming. Cause I don't want to catch the bus back home. Like I want to take the train. It's quicker, it's more convenient, it's just easy peasy. So I'm on the train. I mean, I get like to the Penn Station. Now, mind you, the coins, they done they done dropped. One of them fell in my drawers from my bra. So it's in my drawer. So I goes to the bathroom and I'm like, all right, well, the coin is, it was like right in the front. Okay. So I'm like, all right, well, let me see if that was a dollar piece. That wasn't a dollar piece. It was quarter. I said, what the heck is this? So now I'm like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Now, mind you, all day my card has been declining. The virtue call on my phone. I'm walking upstairs to catch the train, and these thoughts like, the card, it may not work, right? And so I just was like, you know what? It was something in me that just was like, go take the train, like go. And this is the purpose. Like, you have power, you need to use it. There's times where it's though God is telling you to do certain things. But because you listening to that voice so much that's telling you, oh, don't do it, like it don't make sense, it's not logical, or perhaps you listening to people that's telling you all this foolishness, and you get so caught up on listening to it that you drown the voice of God out. Like you just disregard it. So now I'm upstairs, right? About to get on the train. So the guys, they have like these workers there, so you won't hop the turnstiles. And so the guy, he's there, he's like, oh, the train is about to leave like in 2 minutes. So now I'm like, so I was like, all right. So time is just ticking, right? And he kept saying stuff. The guy who worked for the pad, for the train station, he kept saying stuff. He was like, Miss, are you okay? Because I'm going, with my card, on my phone. I'm like unlocking it, like whatever. Don't you know? He was like, the train is about to pull off. I was like, all right. It was to a point now. Like, you said what you said. Okay, that's enough. Because it was a part of me like, I'm not feeding into what you're saying, right? I'm not feeding into what you're saying. The train, if I miss it, whatever. Another one to come, right? That's how my whole process was. And then another part was like, guys, you could just let me go through, right? Because the card, it was like, I don't know what's going on with this card, but I trusted the process and I scanned it. It went through. It worked like magic. I said, what the hell? All day, this card, it was not working. All day, it kept declining. I get to the path to catch the train, it worked magical. It like so good. I'm like, oh my goodness, what the hell? So then today, I got a Dollar Tree to make a purchase. The card declined again. I was like, what the hell is going on? Whatever. So I wanted to share that. Because is incidents like this where is though you need to trust the process. Like you get a download to do something, you need to do it. You are so powerful. Stop giving up your power because of what you see on the outside. We don't even see, with our eyes. Okay. I mean, the stuff that we see with the eyes is very limited. Is very limited. And so this book, okay, Working with the Law by Raymond Howell, one of the things it says, attention to have a high interest is not enough. So you interested in something, whatever it is. Maybe it's you starting a business, maybe it's you getting in that new relationship, maybe it's for you to earn more money. One of the things Raymond Howell said is interest is not enough. We must inject this interest into our daily labors. Our attention must portray our interest. And the keener our interest, the more intense will be our attention. So you could always pretty much see exactly where you are, like vibrationally, right? And one of the things that you have to understand is the universe is always responding to us based upon our emotions, right? our emotions is the language of God. And I had got that from Neuro Knowledge. And one of the things he says was like, everything is about like your emotions. So if you, throughout the day, if you meditate for about, say, an hour or so, if you meditate and then for 16 hours later, right? You in panic, you in worry, you operating in fear, right? That hour of meditation is not going to do too much because the rest of the time, majority of the day, your interest is going towards you not having enough, things not working out for you. You know, people don't want to see you win. If your interest is going towards that throughout the day, majority of the day, guess what? You're going to keep on living on repeat. So meaning tomorrow is going to look the same as today because it's the same exact thing. Is you doing the same exact thing with your thoughts. And with your thoughts, since you're doing the same exact thing, every day is the same exact thing. You wake up the same, you eat the same, you talk to the same exact people. You keep on doing the same exact thing and hoping and praying and looking for something new to occur. Nothing's new is going to occur. Let me say it again. Nothing new is going to occur until you change, until you do something different, until you are able to face yourself, until you are able to trust the process, until you are able to discipline your thoughts. Nothing else is going to change in your life. You have to become so disciplined. And I know because the outside, it shows you all this stuff. It tells you things not working. You know, so many things turn up. But one of the things that you have to understand is you have to discipline your mind. You know, as I was in the shower tonight, I started thinking like, you know, Dina, you really don't have no other choice, no other option. You got to discipline your mind even more. Right. And so that's the whole concept. You have to discipline all day. If you in chaos, right? Now from chaos comes order. But if you in panic mode, anxiety, like all these different things, depression. And let me tell you this. I remember reading The Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. And one of the things he says about depression is this. First of all, depression. Now, I'm no psych or anything like that, okay? But depression is pretty much you angry at someone else and you turn it within. So say somebody may have done something to you, right? And maybe you felt like you should have spoken up. You don't speak up. Instead, what you do is you so pissed off with them and you turn it within. So you may say things like, you know, you stupid for going back again. How could you allow this person to talk to you like this? So you turn all that anger that you have, that you wish you would have said, that you did not say to them, you turn it on within. It's like you turn that frustration and that anger and you turn it on yourself. Now, when you do that, it creates depression, right? Because it's like instead of you saying something and you know, pretty much going against them, you go against yourself. And any area of your life, whether it's anxiety, depression, or whatever, I shared my story with you guys. I've been talking about it, you know, for a minute, right? Let me see. All right. So is this book. So you pretty much turn whatever it is that you got going on within yourself. And so I remember hearing it, and one of the things running how it states is he says it doesn't matter how much enlightened, right, you may think you are, you still going to go through things. And when you go through things, right, awareness is the best thing ever. So if you see that you are in a depressed state, right? I don't care for saying, oh, you have depression or you have anxiety, because whatever you claim is going to remain. Oh, child, come on with the bars, okay? Whatever you claim is going to remain. So when you say, oh, you have this or you have that, guess what? You just claiming it. And guess what? It's gonna stay there because you keep on claiming it. You keep on, and you may say, but then you don't understand my circumstances. Let me tell you something, okay? I went to a psychologist because my mind and everything, honey, it was like, and I remember she was like that I had a case of depression, I had some anxiety. She had prescribed some medication, and it came to a point in my life where so I was like, I'm not going to, and this is my journey, so you got to always do what works for you, okay? But it came to a point in my life where so I was like, I don't want to rely on medication. And then not only that, the medication that was prescribed, they had withdrawal effects. Okay, so if you stop taking it, my mind was like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be worse. So I had stopped taking it. And what wound up happening, I got to the point where as though I started going to a herbalist. And the herbalist is this stuff called True Calm, okay? And it's herbs and stuff like that that relax your nerves. It's like in a capsule. It's still like a pill. It's a capsule, a pill, and I started taking it. But then I got to the point, I always had this like notion about myself, like I'm stronger than this. Like I'm more capable than this. Like I'm better than this. I always have this. And so I stopped taking it. And you also have to understand this. Like the pain that you are experiencing, now pain is inevitable. Don't look at your life and think like, oh, well, I'm the only one that's going through this. Nobody else ever went through this. Let me tell you something. That is not true. One, the universe or God is not picking on you. Okay. You have to understand, and just like it says in the Bible, it says it rains on the just and also on the unjust. Okay. So it's not only you. What you have to understand is all according to your perception. If you perceive that your life is horrible, your life is horrible because you are a co-creator. So whatever you say your life is, that's what it is. If you say your life is it's like you walking and there's a black cloud over you, that's pretty much what's going to be. Because you have a strong belief in it that's what your life is. You're not entertaining no other thoughts but what you see. And what you see is based upon your emotions. And so when you feeling emotionally like, oh well, there's a black cloud, guess what? There's going to be a black cloud. First it starts with the thought. You entertain the thought by saying, oh yeah, that's exactly how your life is. Guess what? After you get emotionally involved with it, boom, you start the process of that thing becoming a reality. Okay, reality is an illusion. It's not real. It's based upon your perception. That's what's real. Whatever you perceive to be, that's what's going to be. So, after that, one of the things that I noticed was, and if you ask the questions, like, and this is why I say meditate, because you guys, you have the answers. But what the issue is, You relying on things outside you. Like I was listening to Neuro Knowledge a few minutes ago on YouTube. And then it was like as I was in the shower, I just got it down. Meditate. Meditate. Like you listening to videos and stuff, meditate. Go within. And so I went within and then I got to download to do this video and stuff like that. But you have to go within. All those answers that you seeking, it is within. But you don't make time for yourself. That's why it seems like you got to constantly depend on other people to give you the answers. That's why you feel like, you know what, I got to watch another video. No, it's not another video. You're like, I got to read another book. It's not another book. It's about, are you going within? Because the answers are within. Now, granted, right? I recommend books. I read books. But you got to understand that the answer lies within you. When I read the book, right, it just confirms. It just confirms. That's it. It just confirms what I already know. It just confirms it. And so what you need to start understanding is if you're not willing to make time for yourself, if you're not willing to get to know yourself, you're going to keep on doing the same exact thing, my love. You're going to keep on living the same exact way. You're going to keep on expecting something new to occur. And then it's called frustration. Now you're frustrated because you like every day is the same way. Yes, every day is the same way because you're the same way. You keep thinking the same. You keep getting emotionally involved with those thoughts that you continuously have. And so guess what? You get emotionally involved with it. It starts, the process, it starts. Whatever that process is. If you think that, you know, you have enough, guess what? You get emotionally, and you can always, this is the thing. This is the thing. You want to know how you know if you are in a good, like if you are in a good state, mind-wise, how you feel throughout the day. Do you pay attention to how you feel? Or are you just on autopilot? Are you paying attention to that? Because that's what I do. I pay attention to how I feel. And when I see that I'm entertaining certain thoughts, it's time for me to discipline my mind. It's time for me to look at that and say, all right, Dina, now what do you prefer? You got to ask yourself when you are thinking certain thoughts, right? And you don't want them thoughts to manifest. We manifest each and every day. You don't want them thoughts to manifest. You have to ask yourself in that moment. Don't wait. In that moment, ask yourself, well, what do I prefer? Like when I was waiting for the train, right? Well, when I was standing there in the car, what do I prefer? Oh, I prefer for my darn card to work so I can catch this train. And voila, the magic happens. The card worked. All day earlier, it wasn't working. Now it works. So you have to look at your life and see, what is it that I prefer from me? What is it? And if you're not willing to check in with yourself, because you say you so busy, you make time. Busy ain't no excuse. That ain't no excuse. Because you so busy, but you're the one who want to change the results in your life. So you got to make time. You have to make time. When I got out the shower, right? A part of me, now I meditated earlier today. I think I did probably like, I don't know if it was like 15 minutes. I had it set for 30, but I knew my youngest children, they was coming back. They was coming back home. And so I meditated for I think 15 minutes. And then I knew I needed to meditate again. So I set the timer on for 30 minutes and I meditated. So you make time. You have to be willing to make time. Imagine it. Not needing people to tell you whether you're right or wrong, right? Most cases, you calling people to ask them like, what's their opinion, is because you want them to side with you. You want them to agree with you. Okay, you don't want to look like the bad person. That's why you call people and ask them like, what's your advice, girl? What's your take on this? That's why you do it. But the feeling of knowing that you can just tap in and go within, I mean, it's the best feeling ever. It's the best feeling ever. Because now you don't have to be waiting for somebody to tell you, yeah, seeking a validation, asking them, oh yeah, like, well, girl, what's your take on this? Honey, no, meditate. Meditate. And if you're a person that just starting out meditation, 5 minutes. Set the timer for 5 minutes. You ain't got 5 minutes? Imagine it. Imagine it. You want all these things to manifest into your life, but you don't even have time for you. And you know what's crazy? Because if you don't even have time for you, you want other people to have time for you? That don't make sense. You don't have time for you to get to know yourself, but you want other people to have time for you. That's crazy. That is crazy as hell. And how you know what you like and what you prefer if you're not even willing to spend time with yourself? You know, most of the times, most of the things that you like is not even really you liking it. It's pretty much what you've been conditioned to like. But you don't want to spend time with you. You don't want to spend time with you. All right, so I'm going to read this part and then I got to go. So it says, I recall years ago when I was yet a student at the university that I would often pass through the terminal of Williamsport, where a certain man had his office and was, no, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on, chill. It's one part. Oh. This is it. Law of compensation. Now, when I'm talking about the laws, I remember ignorance. If you don't know, you're going to keep doing the same thing. Ignorant, because you're in an ignorant state. And the only thing that is going to cause you to have clarity is to study. You have to study. Okay. And when I say study, I say read, meditate, go within, those things. Listen to personal development, audio or whatever. You guys know that's like my day. Read, listen to personal development, meditate. Okay. And so where was I going with this? Oh, so you need to create order, okay, in your life. And the only way to create order is through study. That's it. There's no other way. Now, a couple operated a fish store in our neighborhood. They neglected to keep the store tidy. And you know what's crazy? Because a lot of times we like, well, this person's house is just unorganized. Or one of the things with myself that I noticed, like, I'm a Virgo. And I don't care for saying, oh, this is why I do what I do. But some things that I would do, I would like my house, it'll be like organized, it's clean, right? Like I'm a very clean person, but organization, okay, like the cabinets and stuff like that, the freezer, it may be a little unorganized, and all of that is a reflection of the mind. So sometimes we think we just do stuff, right? Like, oh, I just do that, it's just not organized, but it's a reason. everything that you have going on within the inside is a reflection on the outside. Okay. So, a couple operated a fish store in our neighborhood. They neglected to keep the store tidy, were not always courteous in their dealings, nor prompt with deliveries. Becoming discouraged from repeated losses, they closed out, selling what equity remained. The couple who brought the failing business and the fixtures moved in, rolled up their sleeves, scrubbed the room clean, and dressed it up with tile boards, making it appear attractive and prosperous. They attracted business at once, established a name for quality food, cleanliness, and courtesy. Their business, in spite of former conditions, grew steadily until it was necessary to lease an adjacent room and increase the size of the store. Some years have passed, and these two people have enjoyed success in the same business and location where others had failed. The Lord helps those who helps themselves. Now I know when we hear Lord, it's not Lord, it's not Lord, it's LAW, it's law, okay? Not Lord, lore. The law helps those who helps themselves. The law of compensation always works that way. So when I first heard that there's universal law, and universal law is the law that governs everybody life, I said, oh my goodness. I was so excited because up until this point, I just was thinking like, oh, poor me, because of my skin color, because of this, because of the family I grew up, like all these different things. I was thinking that that's why my life was going in the direction it was going in until I heard that universal law. Like in the Bible, what it says, it rains on the just and it rains also on the unjust. And so when I heard that universal law, that it can't be changed by man because man didn't create it, I said, what? Okay, I got excited. What? You mean to tell me whatever it is that I desire for my life, it doesn't matter, the age, it doesn't matter my physicalities, none of those things matters. It just matters about my perception of those things. I got so excited. Because then it lets me know that, life is not unfair. I know some people say life is unfair, life is a battle. It's not a battle, it's a game. Life is a game. And one of the books that I highly recommend also is The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shen. Phenomenal read. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It has so many stories in there about people who, whether they wanted a certain relationship with someone who didn't want them, and they had this substitute, right? So basically, they wanted this person. The person wasn't really interested in them. And so what they did was they made room for the person that may be interested or the person that would be interested in them. So they had the substitute. Then it has another story in here with this lady. She only had $8. Okay. And she felt like rejected. She felt like she didn't have anything. And she went to go see Florence Shen. And Florence Shen had did like a meditation thing or affirmations and stuff. And one of the things Florence Shen had told her was like, whenever you get a hunch, you need to follow it. That gut feeling, that intuition that speaks to you, you need to follow up on it. And she went back to her hometown. Now, her hometown, it was filled with poverty. She actually left New York City, where, people may say, oh, there's many opportunities in New York City. But her hometown, it was filled with poverty. But she got a gut feeling, she got a hunch for her to go back to her hometown. She went back to her hometown, connected with an old friend, and within no time, she started earning thousands of dollars. Whereas though some people, and see, you can't go based upon logic. You can't go based upon logic. You know, if it's logical, if it makes sense, right, to everybody else, chances are it don't make sense necessarily to to you, right, to your inner self. Is not going to make sense. If everybody says, oh my goodness, that makes perfect sense, chances are you should be doing something different. And a lot of people is not going to understand it. They're gonna say that's illogical. Like, you don't even have the money to do this, you know? They're gonna put all their fears, all their worries, all their insecurities, you know, they'll try to put them on you. And if you allow it, if you're not strong enough, then you're just going to take it. You're going to accept it. Like when I first started doing videos, I remember it was times where as though I would be laughed at, right? From my family. And they didn't mean no harm. But they would laugh. They would be like, ain't nobody hardly watching you, right? Like nobody even watch your video. And I remember I was so persistent. I got to download to make content. I was so persistent. I didn't care how or hot water came. I was going to show up. And, you know, to the outside world, you know, why make videos? You know, do something different, do something else. You have to be willing to trust the process. And it's not going to make sense. And a lot of times, you're going to be the only person. You're going to be the only person that's going to believe in that opportunity, that calling. You're going to be the only person. And that's okay. Because there's a reason why you got that download. It's a reason why Source told you to do whatever Source is telling you to do. And it's for you to do it in order for you to change your life. See, you can't be wanting to change your life if you're not obedient. Let me say that again. You can't expect to change your life if you're not willing to be obedient. If you're not willing to be obedient, your life is not going to change. And it is just what it is. So you have to be willing to be obedient. You have to be willing to change. A willingness to change. You have to be willing to change. Now, with that being said, I love you guys. Keep rocking out, believing in yourselves. Until next time, peace.